In the world we live in today, war is accompanied by aircraft, chemical weapons, and digital technology. But where did war begin? When did humanity first take up arms against its own kind? From the clashes of Stone Age tribes to the fall of the great cities of Mesopotamia, human history has been painted in the color of blood. This story is not just about war. It is about us, the origin of humanity. Why do we fight? Why did the sense of mine form within us? Greetings, members of the Kingdom Tube family, as we travel through the pages of history to explore the mysteries of the world. Today, we are looking at the fascinating history of the First War. Stay with us until the end. The mystery of Nataruk, prehistoric cruelty, 10,000 years ago. Let us go back 10,000 years. At that time, nature was the common home of humanity. It was believed that hunter-gatherer societies had no sense of enmity beyond the search for food. However, a place called Nataruk, located near Lake Turkana in Kenya, suddenly changed this long-held historical perspective. In 2012, researchers discovered secrets buried deep in the soil of Nataruk, the remains of 27 people. Among them, 12 showed clear signs of severe trauma. These people did not die by accident, they were murdered. One was a pregnant woman. Her hands were bound, indicating she had been killed cruelly. The position of the skeletons suggests that this was not a simple group fight, but a planned raid. The weapons, sharp spears made of obsidian, were designed to tear through the flesh of the enemy. This raises the question, why? The answer may be simple: resources. In that era, fertile land and water in the Turkana area were the guarantee of life. This was the first strategic attack by one group to seize the resources of another. This conflict is a tragic chapter showing how the human sense of mine and yours was formed. Nataruk is not just a sign of when war began, but a shocking demonstration of how war has been ingrained in human DNA. From stone to metal, from sticks to spears, the weapon changed, but humanity's greed for resources did not stop. The agricultural civilization, the birth of war and ownership. After the Nataruk conflict, the greatest change in human history occurred: agriculture. Humans left nomadism behind and chose to settle in one place permanently. This created a new world, but at the same time, it brought war into the world to stay. In Mesopotamia, between the two rivers, humans were able to accumulate a surplus of produce. For the first time, people began to store grain in granaries beyond their daily needs. And at this moment, the concept of ownership was born. The distinction of mine and yours was created. Whenever a neighboring tribe saw this accumulated wealth, war became inevitable. Cities had to be protected. For this reason, humanity began to build walls for the first time. A wall defines a space that can be entered and a space that is prohibited. War shifted from tribal conflict to border defense. Now, war was not just for food, but for the territory of the city, for power, and for the honor of the king. This shift changed the nature of war. It was no longer a question of who fights in their spare time, but who will have a full army. War became an institution. Kings began to deploy their armies to enforce their own laws and expand their territory. As the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia became the first school of war. As humanity progressed in its ingenuity, technology, and civilization, its capacity for destruction grew with it. The foundation of the current structure of war was laid on these ancient fields. As humanity divided the land, it also carved out border lines prepared for war. The War of Sumer and Elam, the first organized military conflict. Let us travel back 2,700 years to Mesopotamia, the cradle of human civilization. Here, for the first time, war transitioned from tribal conflict to strategic military campaigning. The combatants, the Sumerian city-states, and the Elamite people who came down from the eastern mountains. This story is not a guess. It is recorded in writing on clay tablets. The victories inscribed by Sumerian kings on their temples show that they used war as a political tool for the first time. The Elamites wanted the fertile plain of the Tigris and Euphrates, and the Sumerians had to protect the wealth within their own cities. The image you see now is a demonstration of humanity's first military strategy, the Sumerian army's road military front, the phalanx. From then on, war was determined not by individual strength, but by unity and strategy. The king, as the commander-in-chief, led from the front. During this war, weapons were improved, from stone to bronze. Bronze meant a weapon that could kill, cut, and last a long time. King Agamduna and other Sumerian kings deployed their armies to repel the Elamites. This conflict was the peak of human military strategy at the time. The war ended. The Sumerians attributed their victory to their kings and gods. But the truth recorded in history was this: from then on, war became a part of daily human life. No matter how much cities prospered, and no matter how well they were built with walls, the threat of war from outside would always exist. The war between Sumer and Elam was the beginning of a new era. War is now a part of politics, to build a nation, to defend a nation, and to rule others. This is the foundation of the world we live in today. Conclusion. From antiquity to today, humanity's eternal conflict. From the dark Stone Age conflict of Nataruk to the strategic military tactics of Sumer and Elam, human history has been written in blood and metal. But as we look at this today, what do we learn? Has war weakened or strengthened humanity? History has a lesson. After war, there is always a search for peace. The peace treaty of Kadesh between the Egyptians and the Hittites, the first peace treaty in world history, shows humanity's effort to end war. As we create war, we have also learned the value of maintaining peace. Today, in the 21st century, our weapons of war are sophisticated and our territories are vast. But the question remains. The struggle for resources and survival that began 10,000 years ago at Nataruk continues today in another form. What path will we choose? Will we destroy our civilization with a new war, or will we move forward in cooperation and peace? War is the shadow of human civilization. It follows us wherever we go. But the light that creates the shadow is our own action. Our history shows us how low humanity can sink. Likewise, it teaches us how high we can rise. The final decision, however, is always in our hands. This is the story of humanity. This is our story. The dawn of war and the origin of our search for peace. Thank you for being with me. Please like, share, and subscribe to become part of the family.